Another user interface element that you're going to be asked to create quite frequently is a form field. Everybody that has a website wants some sort of contact or order form built into their site so that they can receive email or take orders or whatever it might be that they're trying to do. So we as designers need to be equipped to handle that request. In this movie, I'm going to be exploring creating different types of form fields inside of your mockup here inside of Photoshop. So the first thing I need to do is I need to hide the home content area here. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the little icon for visibility next to Content Home, and then I'll turn on Content Contact, and I'll expand out the group. Now, I've already got these guides up on my screen. If you can't see these guides, go to View and turn Extras on. If there's a check mark, you should already be seeing these guides. I'm going to use these guides to help me place the items inside of my contact form. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. That's the basis for almost everything we do here. And I'm going to click right there in the center. The width, for now, doesn't really matter to me. The height is what matters. This can range anywhere from 25 to 35 pixels, but don't go any smaller than that. You can go larger if you need to, but try not to go smaller than 25 pixels. Why? Because we don't control how people are accessing this content. There's nothing more frustrating to me than when I go to a website and they have a form that I have to fill out, and let's say that I'm looking at it on my mobile phone. I try to click that with my finger, and it just doesn't work, or I have to zoom in a million times and then click on something with my finger. That is so annoying. So what you want is to have at least 25 to 35 pixels for someone to click on, making it easily accessible for them. So I'm going to go ahead and do 35 pixels here, and I'll hit OK. That just puts in a small blank rectangle, and I'll drag that over until it snaps to that guide and take it right there. I'm going to free transform this, so I'll use Command or Control T. I'm going to drag this out until it gets to about 345 pixels wide. That looks about wide enough. There we go. Now I need to also make this white. This form field needs to be white. So I'll come over to the rectangle 2 right here, and I'll double click. Change this to white. And I'm also going to rename this layer, and I'll name it Your Name, because that's what this form field is going to be called. I'll grab my text tool by hitting the letter T on my keyboard. I'm also going to hit the letter D on my keyboard to default my colors back to black and white and make sure that black is my foreground color. Then I'll click to start creating some text, and I'll type out Your Name. And it's in Courier New, bold, and I'm actually going to shrink the size of it down, so I'll select the text and change the size to about 14 pixels. There we go. Now I'll grab the Move tool, and I'll move it in. And I'll actually zoom in so you can see it a little better. There we go. And I'm just going to move it somewhere kind of like that. So there's the form field there. Once I've got this created, I'm going to come back over to the Layers panel and select both of those Your Name layers, and I'm going to group them with Command or Control G. Once I group them, I'll name this Your Name. Now I'm going to duplicate this. I need a field for your email, subject line, and also your message, the body of the message. So I'll hit Command or Control J once to create a duplicate for your email, Command or Control J again for the subject, and Command or Control J again for the message. So now I can go in and start manipulating these. I'll start with the first copy of Your Name. So it says Your Name copy. And I'm just going to hold down my Shift key, and with my Move tool selected, press the down arrow key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Then I can let go of my Shift key. I'll do the same thing for Your Name copy 2. Hit that, and this time I'm going to press the Shift key and hit the down arrow key 10 times. It's going to space it out just like that. And then for Your Name copy 3, same thing. This time though, Shift key and hit the down arrow key 15 times. That just evenly spaces all of these out for me. Now I can start editing these. So I'll go to Your Name copy, open it up, double click on Your Name, and I'll type in your email. I'll also rename the group by double clicking and type out your email. And I'll close that group, go up to the next group, expand it out, double click Your Name, type in subject, double click to change the name of the group, change that to subject as well, close that up, expand the third group, change where it says Your Name, double click, your message. Now, for the box, I'm going to double click that, change it to your message, and then I'm going to use Command or Control T to expand it all the way down to about there, and I'll expand it out all the way over to the right-hand margin. Then I'll hit enter or return to commit to that. So now all those line up. Got a big message box there. I can collapse this up, and I'll rename this group Your Message. If you want to reorder these, you can. I'll drag your name up, your email, subject, and then messages down below. The last thing I need to do is add a submit button. So I didn't add that when I was adding the buttons to my site, but that's no big deal. I can just go grab one of the buttons from another section of the website. So what I'll do is collapse this up and turn off Content Contact for now. I'll turn on Content Home and expand out the group. I'll find the button, and I'll use Command or Control J to copy it. And then I'll take button copy, and I'll drag it down and drop it right on top of Content Contact. Then I'll collapse up Content Home, turn the visibility off, turn the visibility back on for the contact page, expand it out. I'll grab the button, move it right there to the margin, and I'll expand it out. Double click the T next to more info, type out submit. Grab my move tool, move it into place. Collapse that up, rename the group, submit BTN for button, and I'll also close up Content Contact. There we go, zoom back out. Now I've got a lot of white space over here on the right hand side. So what I want to do is fill this with the latest blog post like I had on the home page. So I'll expand out Content Home. I'll find the text box that says latest blog posts, and I'll just duplicate it. Command or Control J, and then I'll take that and drop it right inside of Content Contact, and it should pop right in, just like that. And the final step to finishing off this page with the form fields is to add a heading over here to the left. So I'm just going to grab my text tool, click, type out Contact Us, and it doesn't matter what the text looks like because I'm going to select it, and then open up my paragraph styles and choose heading 1. If it's got a style override applied, just clear the override and then move it into place, just like that. Collapse it up, and there we go. So hopefully by now you have a better understanding of how to mock up form fields inside of Photoshop. It's basically just shapes and text lined up nicely with touch-friendly interfaces and click-friendly interfaces as well, making the fields easy to read, easy to click on, and then a big call to action button somewhere inside the form. So hopefully the next time you're asked to do something like this, you won't find it quite as challenging.